want, things that we want. And sometimes it's time to stop and look at it a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at causes of stress. We're going to look at some stress management. And we're going to get into some holiday do's and don'ts and kind of be honest with ourselves in looking at moving forward in what we would like it to look like for the best for our mind, our body, our spirit, our family, and put a plan together that may shake you a little bit this year, but let's look at it. So look at this holiday Bill of Rights. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. But the first is you have the right to take care of yourself. We're going to talk about, yes, the word eating, exercise, rest, relaxation. We're going to look at how emotions are so messed up a lot of times during the holidays. First, we're happy, then somebody's sad or frustrated or afraid or dealing with airports or what. It's just overwhelming. And the finances then, and that don't hit us until, January. But looking at it and having the right to spend some time alone with yourself in reflecting, relaxing, refocusing. We're going to talk about the right to say no to some things and to ask and delineate and talk to our families and friends and maybe look at a different way to do. So you will see this list again later. We're going to come back to it after we dig in a little bit. So look with me, and you can put things in the chat. What are the top three things that would you consider to be stressors for you for the holiday? And how do you handle it? Do you actually handle it? Do you put it aside? Do you stuff it down deep and say, I'll deal with it later? And as I say, we put the permagrin on and everything's just wonderful. And we try to keep moving forward. What does it look like? Are you worrying about things that are out of our control? This is what this is all about. We are looking at what we are in control of and what we're not in control of. For example, we are most of us are in South Florida, and we have these things called hurricanes. And I don't know about you, but I haven't been given any kind of power to know exactly what they're going to look like when they come. That's out of my control. But what is in my control? How I choose to prepare for myself, my family, my home, evacuation, all of that. So it's the same thing with stress. It's stopping and looking at what am I in control of and what am I not? Am I wanting my holidays to look perfection? And then what happens when we try to do perfection, right? Sorry, none of us are. And then those are expectations that aren't getting met. Anybody else here get a little bit too critical with themselves when something doesn't come out exactly perfect or it doesn't fit other people's expectations? Mm-mm. That leads to that lack of confidence. That leads to assumptions and no power and overwhelmed and, oh, they're better than me at this or I'm better at that. I thought I was, but now, and all of that questioning that we do to ourselves. It's a mess. And we're going to look at how to change that. There is something, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called the holiday blues. It is very, very real. And in the social work, in the mental health world, it is a disorder. It is truly um, a real thing, and I'm validating it for you. Culturally, we have to look at what our cultural background is. What do we bring? 96% of our words and actions our learned behaviors from, when we were real little to the package we are now. We brought ourselves with us all these years. And it really is a culmination starting from literally where in the world we were born, and then what kind of community we were born into, rural, inner city, suburbs, what was it like? And then our environment of what residence, type of residence, and who raised us. And this is that package that we are. So when we talk about holiday blues, there's a lot of strings attached to our own history that we have to look at. And what are your coping strategies? What's pulling you down to the muck? What's lifting you up? And it's very, very real. And it's not something that you can say, I'm just going to brush it off and keep going. All right. Or ignore it. Um, get over it. You can't get over it any more than you get under it. It's something that needs to be addressed and something to work on for balancing out. Identifying and being aware of triggers. And again, the triggers can come from deep inside, from when we were little, or from someplace else. And it could be a place, a location. It could be an environment. It could be people. It could be the smell of a certain food that could set off a trigger. But it's the time to stop and identify. And when you're identifying, you're looking at that mind, body, spirit connection. And the first is, what are you feeling in your body and where? Is it, chest palpitations? Is it, tummy acting up, digestive issues, headaches? Are you clenching your jaw? Are your shoulders tight? And the stress goes to the weaker parts in our body. So if you've had an old injury, it could be that suddenly that's acting up and it's like, why is my neck hurting? Why is my knee hurting? Those are red flags that your body is generously, graciously telling you, hey, something's off. Stop and look. So looking at truly what's happening for your body, we've been given this body temple to take care of. And if we don't, we know that other people are going to have to take care of us. And then we're not going to be able to do our work or other things that we want to. And the statistic is that this scares me, by age 65, 1 out of 4 people are going to need some kind of assistance. So looking at that and saying that a lot of that are things that we can handle in the decades before we hit that in our coping strategies and deciding how we want to be healthier, how we want to be more balanced. So this is a culmination. It doesn't just happen, the holiday blues, the sadness, a depression that feels that muck, that heaviness, that absolute fatigue. It's very, very real, and we need to look at it. So, what's the big deal with stress management? You're not going to like me. There's no stress between two people. I'm going to say it again. There is no stress between two people. There has to be a third element. There's no stress. Say I got a flat tire today. What a mess. I was late for everything. The kids were late. Somebody had to cover my job. It was, oh my God. And then I'm at the tire store and they had the nerve to tell me that they didn't have my tire there and they were going to have to get it from someplace else. So looking at it, it was the stress between me and the tire person? No, it was that they didn't have the tire. So it's always good to stop a minute and say, what's going on here? What are the three things involved? And what's my part? Do I have a responsibility here to just jump in and take care of what needs to be done so I can take it off my shoulders and move on? Or is this somebody else's hamster wheel that I don't even need to jump in on? So the goals to become more resilient, and resilience is a combination of our coping skills and our strategies that we've decided. And sometimes we've got to admit that we have strategies that aren't too healthy and aren't helping us move forward the way we want to. So learning how to make that best of a bad situation, right? Tire, I've got a ton of calls to make. They're telling me it's going to be like 2 hours before they get it in. Again, what am I in control of and what am I not? Keeping it in perspective. If I start lacing into this person, they're just trying to help me and they're actually ordering it. It's not a perfect world. These are the things that are going to happen. And how do I want to handle it? How much of my personal power am I willing to let go of this? So looking at your goals for resiliency and making it a plan, looking at this list and actually going down it for each issue that happens for you. Here are the 3 steps for managing and looking at stress. One is identifying the problem, really stopping and saying, why am I feeling this in my body? Why is this going on? Why is my blood pressure going up? Why, identify in your physical something that's going on. And then you change it to your cognitive of what is the issue and spend some time in identifying what it is. For me with the tire, the issue was that I felt like I was messing up everybody's day because now I couldn't do all the things that I needed to do. So looking at whose responsibility, what to do, how to handle it, break it down. And then the next is to breathe. Do y'all know the word relax? What do you do for relax? Are you sitting and doing some mindfulness breathing at that point? It's only at that point where you can come to a balance for yourself with your breathing. And I'm talking about deep breathing. I'm not talking about, okay, okay, short breaths. If you put your hands on your rib cage and take a deep breath, you'll feel your rib cage move. Well, that means that your lungs are filling with oxygen. Good job. So these kinds of little tasks to make sure that you're truly getting that oxygen going. And then it's time to change your mindset. Okay, this tire is a temporary setback. It's not life changing at this moment for me. Some things maybe, but right now, this is not. So I need to go and thank that person that he's doing everything he can to get my tire. I need to, go and do A, B, C, D, and then I need to let this go so that I can move on and not eat away at me. So when you're looking at planning and for the holidays, what are some of the stressful things? Again, is it location? Is it family? Is it food? Is it money of what people expect? What does it look like? Making that list and prioritizing. And again, you're not going to like me. Our brain is not built to multitask. Yes, I said it. Our brain is built to do one thing at a time, completely, from beginning quality through the end. If I ask you right now to pat your head and rub your tummy, you'd still have to take a second to decide which one you're going to do first. That's prioritizing. And it's the same thing. You've seen people like with broom poles spinning plates around, and I can do 3 and 4, and sure, add another one in. And now you're up to 10 things that you're trying to balance. What's going to happen? Some are spinning well, Others are on the brink of falling. So are you being honest with yourself in looking? Are you willing to delegate? Now, I have some people that, nope, this is my show. I'm doing the whole thing. I don't want to let any of it go. I'll have my breakdown after it's over, and then we move on. It's fine. Is there something that you can do that you're willing to delineate? Is there a change? Personalities. Is there a conflict that you might need to resolve that's been at bay for a month, 5 years, 10 years, might even not know what the conflict was? Is it time to step up between now and your holidays and say, hey, can we talk? I miss us talking. Can we figure this out? If it's financial problems, go to a financial person. I don't mean to buy a product. I mean to find out what programs are out there, help put a plan and a budget. Anxiety goes down when we feel we have control of a situation. And finances tends to be the number one burden for a lot of families. And now's the time to put that plan together and to talk to the family and everybody about it. Many families are looking at doing adventures rather than material things and going out and doing things together. Is it time to have a sit down talk and look at what that looks like so that come January is number one for depression because of all of the expectations and finances and everything that didn't happen through the holidays that everybody wanted. So now's the time to be proactive, to look. We all need a support system. We are not built to be isolated. And we know that COVID messed with it a lot. We are not built to be isolated. We are built to be in community with each other. What's your support system look like? In your household, in your work family, in your neighborhood? Are you out in the community doing something, working out in the community? Are you part of a faith-based organization, a community organization? Where is that? And when I say support system and friends, I'm not talking about the 30,000 on Facebook. All right. I'm talking about those 3 to 5 good friends where you can start in the middle of a sentence and you can laugh with and cry with, or they'll look at me and say, are you really going to wear that out in public today? And I'll say, thank you. Give me a minute. I'm going to go change. Those friends, those really good, look at it and do you have it? Assess it and get those 3 to 5, get those support systems. Again, in your household, in your work, in your community. What does that look like? I love this list. I use it a lot for many things, but look at it with me for the holidays. In picking an activity or something that's coming, do you give yourself permission to say, how important is this activity to me? First, then you're saying for your family, for your friends, for work, whatever. But or do you give yourself permission? Is it being selfish? Or is it checking in with your own self-assessment to see what you have for your cognitive reserve, for your physical reserve, and your financial reserve, and everything in order to do this activity? How do I want to react to it? The number one thing that we own is our reactions. Nobody can make me feel a certain way without my permission. Ooh, they make me so mad. Nobody can make me without my permission. I have to decide how I'm going to receive information and whether I'm going to let it go in and poke my heart, or I'm going to be Teflon and keep it on the outside and keep my boundaries. How do I want to react? What do I want this to look like? Let's say that there's a party that I really am obligated. How important is it to me And then I decide it is important for a number of reasons that I show up and be there. But then looking at it and saying, what am I in control of and what am I not? So I'm in control of, because I have a car with good tires, but I'm going to take myself there. Thank you for offering me a ride. I'm going to go myself because that gives me the control to go and to leave. That's on my control. Who am I going to speak with? Am I thinking already about who's there and what types of conversations? And I'm planning this before. And if there's somebody toxic there, I'm going to put some boundaries on and say, I will speak to this person. I'm going to give it 10 minutes. This is the topic. And then I will be excusing myself. But putting that plan together so that we are in control of what it looks like. Food and drink. Maybe I'm not drinking. Maybe I can't eat the foods that are there. And there's a lot of pressure at parties. Come on, come on. But so I'm going to plan and always know that I'll have a glass of water in my hand or I'll have a plate with something on it so that I am involved, but I am can control and can keep those boundaries so that when it's time for me to leave and I can go and bid my farewells, that I felt that I was in control. I was prepared. So looking at it, use this list and work it for yourself. Safe, calm place. Where is your safe, calm place? This is a place where you can relax. You feel totally at peace. This place could be your bedroom. This place could be the beach. It could be your backyard. During COVID, I had more people tell me it was sitting alone someplace in their car. But find it. And if it is, say, the beach, then your homework is to go there and to open up all of your senses to that experience. How does the sand feel on your body between your toes? What are you hearing? Are you hearing waves coming in, coming out? Are you seeing waves coming in, coming out? Are you seeing birds? What are you smelling? Little seaweed, but opening up all of your senses. And what this does is it changes your neuropaths so that if you are on, you're on computer, you're working, and you know that you've read something 200 times and you still don't know what it says, it's time to step away. And the idea is to step out and get some fresh air, breathe in some sunshine, and focus on all of your senses and change it to breathe in calm, safe. If it's your bedroom, I hope it is. I hope that you can go to your bedroom. And I'm going to stop a minute and talk about sleep. Sleep is very, very important on many, many levels. We need it to rejuvenate this complex system that we had. So what is suggested is that before you get into that bed is to maybe set your clock or take 10 minutes, depending on your day, and give yourself a pity party. Ruminate over the day. I can't believe today's the day that I had a flat tire. I can't believe they didn't have the tire for me. And what you're doing is releasing it from your heart and your mind and letting it come out, either verbally or maybe you're typing it or writing it, but it's coming down your arm and out your fingers. You are releasing it. Why is that important? Because friends, you and I both know that we are all mental health hoarders. We take stuff in and we stuff it and we stuff it and we stuff it. And then it starts to sneak out. Oops. So every day, every night, Take that time to let it out, release it, and then change it to an attitude of gratitude. Three things that you're thankful for today. Do you know that if you say thankful for one thing every day, you never have to repeat something? There are that many things. So, three things you're grateful for. Guess what? I'm grateful for the flat tire because it means I own a car. Look at all the things that I can do for myself, my family, my community, because I own a car. So that's what I mean by changing that mind shift. And then you are ready to climb into that burrito cocoon of I hope, a comfy, cozy bed where you're feeling it on you and you can do a body scan of how it feels on your head and your shoulders and your hips and your legs. What are the smells in your room? What would you like it to be? Take control of that. What are the sounds? What do you see? Open up all of your senses and make your bedroom that safe, calm place for yourself. So think about it. And even in the chat, put in where would be your safe, calm place? Again, the beach, your bedroom, a favorite vacation place? Share it with us. Because the idea is then, I call it a plug and play, so that you can take it with you. And at any moment during the day, you can take 60 seconds and take yourself to that safe, calm place. And what you're doing is getting your breathing going. You're breathing, you're calm, doing maybe a couple of yoga poses, breathing, meditation, aromatherapy, mindfulness. Let yourself daydream a bit. Do you know that you have, I believe it is, 1,404 minutes a day? Okay, what are you doing with it? How much of that is self-care? So if I say, would you please stop and breathe for 60 seconds? Would you please stop for 3 minutes and take yourself to your safe, calm place? Go take yourself outside and breathe in some vitamin A and D. You still have 1,400 minutes left. So look at it in that perspective. Now we're going back to that list, please. What are you doing to take care of yourself? When we talk about eating right, we all know how our bodies are made. We're all very different. We know our doctors have told us what works for us, what doesn't. And now it's being honest with ourselves, and especially when the holidays are coming, and look at what that balance and how we want to handle it, and how we're going to, cheat and enjoy when we want to, but getting back to a balance. I admit it, I'm a cookie monster. All right. But I'm the only one responsible for whether two cookies are going down or the whole box. It's on me. It's on nobody else. So again, having that plan beforehand on what you want it to look like, where you're going, what you're serving, how you want to handle it. Exercise. When we talk about exercise, it could be going outside, taking a walk, having a friend with you, or on the phone, and you're actually walking with a friend, and then you're having positive conversation, you're in a support, you're using your brain, you're using your body. Oh my gosh, you just got a 5-for-1 free activity going on. Exercise is the number 1 antidepressant. It's also the number 1 prevention for Alzheimer's and the dementias and Alzheimer's. But to look at the power of 10 minutes of what you're doing to move your body, please. So put in the chat for us, what do you do for exercise? How are you getting it in? We talked about the need for the rest, the sleep. Do you know that the latest studies actually say that we need, are you ready? 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Friends, they mean in a row. They don't mean 3 hours here and 2 hours there, actually in a row that our bodies need to rejuvenate. So look at that, please. If you need a nap and you want a nap, they suggest you keep it at about 20 minutes because you don't want to get into a deep sleep. But when they talk about even that 8 hours, do you remember it's that 4 hours of deep REM sleep and the 2 hours to get into it and the 2 hours to get out of it? That's where they get that combination from. Are you getting restful? Are you using apps in your bedroom for sleep, for mindfulness, where it shuts off automatically? Music is very, very powerful. You all know what music you use when you're getting ready for a party or when you're sad. What are you using for your relaxation, your centering, your rest time? What does that look like? What is your routine for that? For rest and sleep, also, they say that I'm sorry, but take the technology out. Um, because what that's doing is it's stimulating. You know, we have all of those flash things that come on our laptops of news reports and different things that we don't want to know about. Are you taking control of that and shutting some of them down? So looking at it, sometimes a good book is actually, they say, not good before to sleep because again, it's getting us excited and going. And we're trying to do the opposite of relaxing and coming down. So look at that, please. And I often hear, well, what happens when I wake up at 1 a.m. and my brain is spinning? And, we own our brains 100%. 100%. We are in control of our brains. That means we can tell it to stop, and then we need a plan. You need your plug and play of something that you're putting in, and you're starting over and doing your body scan for relaxation or whatever app you're using, and share them and start it over again at 1 a.m. Get that rest in. We talked in the beginning about mixed up emotions. Validate it. It's what it is. What makes us happy? What makes us sad? What makes us frustrated? You are now able to identify and take that time to stop and say, wait a minute, what's going on here? How do I want to handle this? What do I want this to look like? And are we normal in saying, all right, just let it be this year, but next year, I'm going to do something different? We're normal. Of course, that's what we do. But taking that time to look, to be for yourself, please. So let's look at some holiday do's and don'ts and dig in more. We need to consider family problems. There are so many levels. I can't believe the levels of stuff that people are walking around with. It's awful. It's horrible. It's off balance. It's very difficult. We do need to consider and address and say what will work. Look at it. There does need to be flexibility. It's the old, but we've always done. Yeah, maybe we need to trim and put some different boundaries on that. I have more parents that are afraid of talking to their children about realistic money issues around the holidays, that for some reason they're not a good parent if their child doesn't get everything that's coming in the Amazon catalog. So what does that look like? How does it work in our home? What are the new traditions maybe that you want to start? What does that look like? What would they like it to look like? We know that many families are looking at gift alternatives. Has your family done something different for that? Put it in the chat and share it. What's a fun experience? Or look at the word fun, F-U-N. It's in the middle of the word dysfunctional. Pull it out. Let's have some fun. Change it up. What would happen? I admit that when we first moved down to Florida, It was very different. We celebrate Thanksgiving. It was very different. We didn't have the family and it was different. And so we took the children who were little at the time and we went away for a couple of days. We thought that would do it. And we came back and we're just local. And they said, well, that was really nice, but when are we having Thanksgiving? So it was the Sunday after Thanksgiving that I ran out and got a turkey and I asked them what they would like it to look like. And we put a thanks, they needed it. And I didn't validate or acknowledge. I just thought, let's just move forward. So taking that time to ask people, what do you want it to look like? What do we need here? You have, do you have a timeline? Did you hear me say it's November? Did you hear that? Oh my goodness. And actually Thanksgiving's a little later this year. But what are the holidays that you're dealing with? What are the dates? What are the expectations? Get that big calendar. And the other part is, do you have a family meeting? Look at us. We have meetings all over the place at work. It's the way society works. So do you have a family meeting? If you live with others or you have family, can you get them on FaceTime or a family Zoom meeting once a week for families? And everybody brings their calendar to the table. I don't care if you're 3 or you're 33. Everybody brings something to the table and everybody has a responsibility. So if you're 3, you go get the napkins, you go get the cookies, and you're having a family meeting. You're not doing it during dinner. Dinner is its own special time. And do you know that the family meal is still considered the #1 resiliency factor for families? And I'm not talking Thanksgiving. I'm talking pizza, bagels on Saturday morning, whatever it is. It's that gathering with food, with something, and having good conversation. That's what 10 minutes, hour, doesn't matter. But are you getting that in, please? So looking at that. So family meeting, it's a special dessert night or something. Cookies, ice cream, whatever it is, but something different. Everybody has something to bring to the table. And then you start with a go round of a high and a low of the week for everybody. And especially during the holiday season, because things start to get more chaotic for everybody. And they need a place to bring it to the table. And what you're doing is setting that investment for your family that in our home, we can bring anything to this table and talk about it. Oh, I was so sad I missed your soccer game was canceled because of the rain. That was my low of the week, my high, little things that seem little, but they're validating each other. So looking at that. And then you're going over calendars, just like you do at work. Oh, you've got, Johnny's party on Friday night. And first of all, will you have your privileges and be able to go? And what I have to work late on this night and this person's here and you're coordinating and they're seeing that everybody has a position and a job and we're working together. If you are alone, do you have the time to do this with those few friends? To say, can we just coordinate and look? Because I want to get out to brunch with you. I want to get out. Let's look and settle this, please, and look at this. Start it now, the planning. Let's look at those don'ts, please. Don't travel out of guilt. Sorry, that should be a T. Look at it. Are you, in looking at stages of a depression, and it's when things are off balance and you're forcing and you're eating more, eating less, sleeping more, sleeping less, isolating yourself, um, pulling back, looking at this. So look at the holiday don'ts. Look at this list. Okay. Take that control for yourself and make a plan with your family and ask for support. Look, when we go to that party, I'm not drinking. So be at my side, help me support, or I'm not hitting the dessert table 8 times. So, help me to keep, but get support. We are all in this together. We are not alone. Have somebody at your side. Okay. So again, creating balance, mind, body, spirit. Your body, move it, move it. We need to have it moving. All right. Reduce the caffeine, reduce the alcohol. Be careful of the I want a glass of wine switches to I need a glass of wine, and then oops, the bottle's empty. Or I need a Tylenol PM, or oops, the bottle's empty. Please, please, I'm getting on my fentanyl soapbox. Look at what your comfort food and your recreational drug use. Fentanyl is in everything. Don't trust anybody with anything that little bag that says, here, this will help you relax. Picture 5 grains of salt or sugar. That's how much fentanyl is lethal. Lethal. Blood foaming from your brain. Please don't. Your mind, taking care of your brain, stopping, changing your thought process. It's practice to change your thought process from changing something from that yucky flat tire to, all right, I'm thankful I have a car. Looking at that active listening. Look at the word Listen, listen. Flip it around and you have Silent. Being silent in the moment with somebody to truly focus on them and what they're saying. Who's doing it for you and who are you doing it for? Your spiritual side. Are you part of something? Do you meditate? Is it prayer? You're using apps? Do you have community connections? Many celebrations this time of year. Are you researching and looking, trying something new and different in your community? Step out, do these adventures. Dr. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, is his book. There are many parts of it on YouTube even. Dr. Viktor Frankl was a German psychiatrist who was in the concentration camps with his wife, his siblings, and his parents. He is the only one that made it out alive. He spent his time there studying human behavior, and he was able to tell who was going to make it out and who would not. These are the points that he makes. Everything you have in life can be taken from you except for one thing, your freedom to choose how you will respond to a situation. Total control is on us. This is what determines the quality of life we live, not whether we've been rich or poor, famous or unknown, healthy or suffering. What determines it is what kind of meaning we assign it, what kind of attitude to cling, what state of mind. I had that flat tire. Well, oh, that was a week ago. Am I still telling you tonight? Am I still giving power to it and being annoyed and everything? No, it's not worth it. What are you doing? Let it go. Release it. Don't hoard it in you. Don't let it hit a trigger in you. Take the time to look and get somebody to work it out with. Go for, counseling, support groups. There's much help out there. So he makes 3 points. One is pursuing the task. Every day, pick a goal. Pick a goal. And the goal can be, and you set the tone by the day. By the first thing when you get up, you say 3 things that you're thankful for immediately. And then you get up and you pull your bed together. Yes, make your bed. It completes a task and sets the tone for the day. And then decide what you're going to do that day. Second is loving selflessly. See that potential in others, watching people and say, wow, I saw what you did in helping that person. Thank you so much. That was so good. Wow, you were really good at. And lifting them up and being specific in what you saw. It's not empty praise. Oh, woe is me. My parents praised me too much. No, it's specific. I saw you do this. I see that quality. Many times people will say, really? Me? I didn't know anybody saw that. and that validation for each other. So who are you lifting up? And who's lifting you up? Suffering bravely. Suffering ceases at the moment it finds a meaning. I often share with people that my dad had dementia, suffered for 12 years from beginning stages through the disgusting process and the end. When he passed, I wasn't able to work with families. I could sit and cry with you, but I certainly couldn't help you. Now I can. It is years later. Do I still cry? Of course. But I have found the meaning and I am able to use it and be an instrument and a catalyst to help others and turn it around. So in our response lies our own growth and freedom and our decision of what we want it to look like. You know how the kids make this heart? Well, the idea is you can't get over it any more than you get under it. You've got to get through it. And only the individual can decide what they want it to look like, how they want it to change. Am I going to start and get stuck? Am I going to start and back out because I'm not ready? But the idea is, what do you want it to look like when you come out the other side? There's joy in the path. Are you getting the joy? What do you want it to look like? Make that plan for yourself. Make that plan with each other. I'm going to come off so that we can talk a bit. And let's see if there's anything in the chat. Are
Um,
you, let's
Real quick,
see.
Donna, before we get to questions, we'll get there in just a moment. But um, if everyone could please take a quick moment, I'm going to go ahead and drop a survey into the chat regarding tonight's workshop. So just let us know what you think and tell us as what kind of events you want to see in the Robin Rubin Center in the future. And now, let me turn it back over to you, Donna. Thanks so much for your patience.
Sorry, I forgot that part. I get excited.
Get it.
So, weight training, cardio, outside, yoga. The idea is we are all superheroes. We all wear our superhero capes. We all have many, many layers of stuff about us, responsibilities, priorities, what we want things to look like. Take that cape off. Center on yourself, to be gentle with yourself. Look at truly your assessments. We do assessments on everything in this world, right? From what water we drink to, um, what phones we buy, everything. So stop and look and take that time to make connections with people, maybe that you haven't for a long time, or something that's been bothering. But that hoarding, get it out and release it either with exercise, with words, with writing, journaling, taking things down. But open up that communication with each other. So I thank you for your time. I'll leave it open if there are any questions, and let me know. Any of this helpful? Anybody have anything that they do with their families for fun adventure or something different that you've tried?
I have a comment. It's not really different. I've never done a turkey trot in my life just because culturally it's not really a thing, but I'm doing one this year
Oh,
with my sister. Yeah, this would be my first year ever.
oh, thank
I'm
you.
excited. I'm excited.
Yes, we'll want the
Yeah.
report.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited.
Oh, excellent. You go, girl. See, and for those of us that, or if you're not doing a turkey trot, you can go out and support somebody doing it. But
Hmm.
it's a great early morning out. It sets the tone for the day too.
That's what I've heard.
Awesome.
Anybody have any questions for Donna? Any questions? unmute yourself or drop it in the chat. Okay. Well,
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you. I did find this very helpful. I appreciate you, and particularly talking in the beginning about us bringing everything with us and how that informs what we do about holidays. And for me, it's any idea of having people over, which I don't, because then I get like, no, it's just not, it's just too much. It's all too much. It's just not worth it. So you've given me a lot of homework to do to pick through why that is. There are a number of things that come to mind immediately, but I'm sure there's some nuanced things. So thank you so much.
Thank you for that. And it's a big step to actually open that window. Or we talk about, being in that tunnel and, you know, the end of the holidays is the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's like, no, put some skylights in. Let's, open it up and think outside the box, change it. Yeah, good.
Got some affirmations in the chat, Donna. This was fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for putting on this workshop. Thank you for this wonderful event.
Thank you all. Please be gentle with yourself, take care of yourself, and remember, go have some fun.
well, thank you so much, Donna, again for being with us today and encouraging us to decrease the stress and enjoy a little bit of the holiday season before we are already past it. But and also to everyone who in the audience, thank you for spending part of your evening with us. I hope you'll join us again in our next event. Remember to register on Tuesday, December 3rd. We'll have healing to halt the pattern. So have a great rest of your evening and be well.